Hey everyone, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. I have a Lawn Chief push mower here. Hopefully, all I've got to do is turn it around 180 degrees and install an engine cover onto it. I hope, because this one is done. Still got this, and he was using a pull rope to start it and just winding it around and then pulling it, which is not the best. Not the best way of starting it, and it's definitely not a way that I can sell it. So we're going to turn this engine around 180 degrees because the pull start that I have is for an engine that is not set backwards like this, So we'll do that. We'll see what we end up getting in terms of it running. He said it was running. I know he was cutting with it before he brought it to me. So like I said, we'll see what we end up getting into here. But I figured y'all just kind of want to see an older push mower, so I'm going to do a video on it while I do it here. Let's get started. So I don't really know the history of Lawn Chief. I don't really know how old this mower is. I would think it's probably a late 80s, maybe even probably a late 80s model, because it's got the actual Pulsa Prime carb on it as opposed to the primer bulb setup. And I don't know when Lawn Chief, the brand, did not exist anymore, ceased to exist, but I know that with the way things are going in the American society right now, this brand definitely would not be surviving here in 2021. Neither would Tecumseh, as an aside. This one's got a Briggs 3.5 horsepower on it, though, so we're safe with that. 21-inch cut is a mulching deck. Blade is blade's pretty rough, but again, we're talking about a cheap push mower here, so probably gonna give it a sharpen and let it ride with that. Should be a pretty easy process to change this. We'll end up finding out what we're going to do with it. He had this grass flap open. I will close it back so that it is more safe to operate. So I don't really know what purpose that serves right there, but we will find out. I guess if it had a bagger on it, that would be a way for the bagger to be put on it. That would be my guess. But the engine cover I'm going to use, I actually got this mower back. I sold it earlier in the year, and this thing has had a rough life since it has left a couple of months ago. I mean, it is just, whoo! This is missing, muffler's missing, and the engine blew. All within a matter of 2 months of it leaving here. I got them set up with another mower. I'm going to take this engine cover off because it has a new pull rope and everything on it, and it's perfectly functional. And we'll put the new pull cover on. This, which should work because they're both 3.5 horsepower classics. The old style with this on the top. And this seems like it's functioning as it should. Once we get this turned around 180 degrees, we'll be in good shape. So let me grab the tools that I need, and we'll go ahead and get started with this. First thing I'm going to do, two things off camera real quick. I'm going to take off the cable here for the bell handle, and this attachment, and that attachment right there for the throttle. All 5/16. They all still work, so we will keep all of this. Oh, by the way, let's check the engine model. I almost forgot. If we can see it, where we've got the... This one might be so old it's on the side here. On that side? Yeah, it's actually on the side. Let's take a look. It means it's probably an 80s model, maybe even a mid-80s. Yeah, 87. How about that? It's a 92902, made 87/02/09, so February 9th of 1987. So we're talking about 33 years here, guys. I think this mower's worked pretty well for 33 years. What do y'all think? So, let me grab the stuff I need and we'll go ahead and get this engine off and swapped around. Alright guys, got those cables off, so the engine is just on there by itself now. 9/16 for this. Okay, we'll set it aside, we'll sharpen the blade while I've got it off. Are these 5/8 or are they 9/16 as well? Are they 9/16? They're 9/16 also, how about that? This is, I love when I get mowers that are taken care of because it makes it so easy to do this. Right, number 3. And we're going to set this engine down right there. Perfect. So now, engine's off. Now all I got to do is just turn it, because you see, you've got, all these mowers, they put mounting bolts so that you can mount it on multiple sides. So you got 1, 2, I think the third one's right there. So we'll mount it into those bolts next instead of into the original bolts, and then we can take that engine cover over there and pop it on here and it'll work properly. And we'll have a good push mower, hopefully. Like I said, this thing ran. So we'll see if we can get it to run again. Alright y'all, I got it back on the opposite direction. So now I'll take the bolts I've got. I'll try and show y'all as I do it here. Just lined it up with the bolt holes from the top. I just come down here and get them started with my hands. Get a few threads in there. Okay. And where's bolt head number 2? Right there. There we go. It's always a little tricky getting these things in here, but once you get them in, you're good. Number 3. Oh. Get on the other side here. No. Where's that hole at? Right here? Right there. Alright, so pop these in now. Oops, wrong way. And number 3. Okay, that's good enough for me. Just checking the blade here. I'm gonna sharpen it real quick, and then I'll put it back on, and then I'll get the mower down, and then we'll go ahead and put the other engine cover back on and see if it works. While I've got you here, we'll go ahead and take the old engine cover off. It's 3/7/16 bolts. So here we go. love when I find these things in this good a shape. Take that off. Should have the same pattern on the other one. I'll get the other one off and we'll get it over here. I put it on just like I put this one on, or took this one off. Put the blade on and the bolt, blade bolt, and these cables, and I'll rejoin you and we'll try and get this thing started. Alright y'all, everything's on it. Cables and everything. I had to lower the throttle cable a little bit on the handle because it wasn't long enough to get to the front of the engine where it was, but it works just fine where it is. Bale cable works. Let me check the oil and we're going to get it started. Alright guys, let's see if this thing will start. Not yet. All right. Starter fluid. Air filter was backwards too. Thing's scraping on a little guard scraping on the mower, but I think his air filter cover is messing it up. might be why it was sitting this way, because it was in the way of the spring. So let's see what happens now. Pull the throttle out a little bit here. See if that helps any. Alright guys, I'm going to let it run for a little while, see what happens. Alright everybody, that's the Lawn Chief all cleaned up. I will mention a couple of things because I know people are going to say something about it. Because it's kind of a knock on a small engine, guys. I realize that this is backwards. Now, the reason why I put it backwards is because I guess this was bent a little bit and it was having issues with the spring clearance right here for the throttle. So that's why I moved it backwards so that I have that spring clearance. I understand that that's the wrong way, but that's my reasoning. And also the little guard here for the flywheel ended up breaking off. It was already a little bit damaged. There's a little flimsy things anyways. So both of those are kind of unfortunate. However, for the price point of this mower, it's not going to hurt the value. I'm going to list it at $50. If I sell it for $40, that's good. I am going to let it sit overnight, though. The reason why is because it's this Pulsa Prime carb, and when I originally went to start it, it didn't want to start. So, I want to let it sit overnight, have a full heat cycle, crank it up in the morning. As long as it cranks up and runs fine after that, I'll go ahead and list it. If it doesn't, I probably will list it for a little bit less and just say on cold starts you have to give it a little bit of starter fluid in order to get it going. I think part of it was because the air fuel mix was a little off originally. But I can show you that the air fuel mix is pretty good right now, so we'll go ahead and run it real quick. right, so that's that. Like I said, I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and in the morning I'm gonna crank it, see if it'll run. If so, excuse me, excuse me, guys. If so, we're gonna list it, sell it. How about that? So, thank you all for watching. This one I got on trade a while back. I sold a $60 Yard Machines push mower and got this on trade. I think I gave him like 20 bucks for it or something. He ended up bringing that Yard Machines back. I had to do an engine swap because I did an issue with the crankshaft nut. But he gave me a weed eater in return, and I sold the weed eater for 50 bucks. So I'm in the good. So I'll, list this for 50. Hopefully it'll sell for at least 40. We'll see what happens. But I think we're going to have a good push mower here. And another one sold. Man, we're cranking them out, guys. We are cranking them out right now, and I'm excited. Got a bunch of them ready, and they're selling within about 24-48 hours here. This is mid-May when I'm filming this. This video will probably drop sometime in July just because I have so much content for y'all. It's amazing how much I've been able to crank out so far this year. So thank y'all for watching again. I appreciate it. And we saved a 35-year-old Lawn Chief push mower. So if anything, we've done that today, which makes all the old school mower guys happy, I'm sure. So thank you again for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.